Hello, everybody. This is Linda DeVitis, owner and founder of healingsonthego.com. I'm a psychic clairvoyant medium, certified healer, Reiki healer, professional space clearer, and a whole bunch more. To see the services that I offer, go to healingsonthego.com. I would like to introduce my very special guest, Kendall Bell, to the show. Welcome back, Kendall.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Welcome. Always a pleasure to have you on. Everyone asks about you, Kendall.
It's been a while. It's been a while. I miss you guys.
Ah,
Hopefully,
we miss you
hope
too.
everybody's well.
Been a long time. Yes. So today we're going to talk about traumas, understanding trauma, challenges, and the whole thing, like why people need to heal from it. But first of all, we're going to talk about trauma isn't just about major events. It's about emotional wounds, childhood conditioning, toxic relationships, or even past life trauma. Many people don't realize they carry trauma until it affects them in their emotions, their relationships, or even physical health. Challenges in life often stem from unresolved trauma, limiting beliefs, or patterns we've unconsciously inherited. And our beliefs are usually due to our inner child, what we went through growing up. Tell us a little about your experience, Kendall.
My experience from just
Like,
from the trauma, from trauma within itself.
yes.
So I can, relay on that. I didn't realize until I was older that I was actually traumatized. I just thought that the way that I grew up and the things that I saw were normal. But as I got older and I had my own kids, I realized that they weren't. I had to go into the foster care system, and there was a lot of different things that happened up before that. You know what I mean? That were traumatic to me, but again, I didn't realize were traumatic. And as I got older, I realized, in my teenage years, I was starting to reflect that trauma. I was very abrupt. I was very defensive. It was fight or flight. It was, all or nothing. It was just very chaotic, and it was abusive. Even though
Yeah.
I was a kind soul, I was a good person. The moment that you hurt me in a certain way, if you crossed that line, it went from 0 to 1,000. You know what I mean? It was really like no in between there, and I didn't realize that it had to do with the level of tone that, my parents used in the household, or the people that I was around, or the things that I was watching and things that I was subjected to. I didn't realize like all of that stuff played a major role in who I was, in my relationships, and who I was with the relationship with myself, most importantly. But yeah, no, it wasn't until I had my kids that I realized I'm like, whoa, hold up, I'm doing things a little bit wrong here,
Ah, your
just in terms
experience.
of like, just physical abuse, just things that I never physically abused my kids, you know what I mean? But it was like one of those things where like, I'm old school. I'm an old school parent, but I never physically abused my kids. So what I did was, because I was physically abused, but what I did with my kids was, I had to like check myself and like use a tone, just use a certain tone. And when they had their diapers on, I would, tap them on the butt, and use the tone. But once they got out of their diapers, I just had to use the tone, and I never had to do it. So it was like, the trauma, it helped me grow, but it also was destroying me as well. You know what I mean? And it was all a matter of, growth, my mindset, what I wanted my purpose to be. I didn't want my purpose to be resembling to my parents and like what they did, and I never wanted to be mad at them, so I actually thanked them because, at the end of the day, I did do a great job, through my
Yes.
trauma, but it's not easy for everybody. It's not easy to recognize like the things that you're doing and why, you know, your relationships with people end the same way every single time. It's dramatic, and this person turns on you just because we attract it. We literally
Right.
attract it. What we are inside, we attract externally. And I didn't know any of this stuff again. And not a lot of us do it. It's hard to really accept it because we just think that the people that are in our lives are the people that are supposed to be in our life. But a lot of them are just supposed to teach us lessons. We don't
That's
get
true. And
that.
that's true. And a lot of trauma comes from our anxiety, depression, fear, anger, or feeling stuck. It's true. I grew up
Yeah.
with my parents constantly arguing. I grew up with a lot of anxiety, severe anxiety and severe panic attack, where all day I was like really scared for no reason. It was just the energy plus living in a haunted house that kind of tripled it. But yeah,
Yeah,
it
I
was
bet.
very hard.
I bet. Yeah, no, I always I had this thing, and I still experience it from time to time, but I had like more of abandonment issues from my trauma than anything. Like when people don't realize when they're with me, when you're in my life now, like it was crazy because you would do something to me and it would be like the worst thing, and people didn't understand why it was the worst thing is because I was abandoned. You know what I mean? Like the trauma that had happened with the people that I love the most, it played out in my relationship. So whenever I met a friend or whenever I met a person, like it was either all or nothing. I would give you my all. I would be your family. I wouldn't treat you anything other than that because I didn't have my family there. So a lot of people didn't understand that. I didn't even understand it. You know what I mean? And like as I got older, I would be myself, but as you got close to me, I would explain this to people and explain to them, like, I don't do friendships. I do family only. Like, you want to be close to me in my circle, like, we have to have a family oriented mindset, and we have to love each other. And it's like, there's no in between. But, it just definitely played out in my adulthood. And I lost a lot of relationships because it, like, not mostly my fault, but I realized I could have handled situations a little bit different. But again, at the end of the day, we both were learning. And
Right.
I hope and I pray that they learned through that experience. Some people we rekindled our relationship, some people we didn't. But I hope that that relationship was one that helped them learn and helped them grow as much as it helped me learn and helped me grow.
Exactly. And a quick hello to Anne. She says, "Hi, Kendall. Nice to
Hey,
see you."
Ed, going
Welcome,
on?
Anne. Thank you for tuning in.
Blessings, blessings. Yes.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
but
it's all about suppressing it. I think the worst part is when you hold it in and you feel anxiety, stress. It's like a dark cloud that goes over you, and you feel fearful all the time. You feel stuck. It's all the emotions that are bottled in. Then it just makes us like uneasy.
yeah, and it's crazy because like going to therapy and all that stuff, like it helps for some people, but for me growing up, like it helped me. I learned faster about what I was going through from people that actually went through it. That's why when I always speak from my own level of experience. I can't really talk from what I read in a book unless I experience it. Like reading the books is like part of, the experience, but it helps me better understand what I've gone through. So that's why, like, whenever I speak, I can only speak based off of something that I've gone through, I'm going through, or that I've seen, or I've actually touched it some way or another. I feel like that's one of the best ways for us to grow. And I'm not saying like, being around people that are toxic is the way to be, it's just like being around people that actually lived it, like older people that have experienced the same traumas, and they got a little bit of wisdom to give you, it's a lot easier for you to, at least for me to learn. I learned through experience. So,
Exactly. How they ask me, how can someone recognize that they have unresolved trauma?
mostly in your triggers, mostly in the little
Yes.
things that trigger you. So just start paying attention to the little things that trigger you, because that's usually where your trauma lies. The things that set you off, the things that go from 0 to 100 real quick, and that's where you really recognize.
It's
Seriously,
true.
man.
It's true. It's very true. You're absolutely right. What are
Yeah.
some of your biggest challenges that you faced when you were growing up? Like the biggest one?
My biggest challenges when I was growing up was just trust. I always expected people to turn their back on me.
Mm,
So with that came me overcompensating and giving too much of myself, just to keep people around because I didn't want them to leave my life. So I feel like that was like the biggest challenge for me, is like knowing my worth, knowing that if you're going to be in my life, you have to actually be worthy of being in my life, and not me feeling like I need to be worthy to be in your life and giving this person all of my power. I never realized that I was doing that. But it comes down, it's crazy too. It's like, even when like relationships, you'll start off a relationship with somebody and it's equal, but as like time goes on, you'll realize, there's a power struggle sometimes,
right.
and it's one of the things that I've always like faced, is just like a power, it's not even like a power struggle. I guess it's more like being comfortable in this situation where we both look at each other as equals, and we both love and we care enough for each other, and we're afraid to leave each other. Like that's one of the
Yeah.
things that, like, that it was really tough for me. Even today, like even now, I wouldn't say it's tough now. I recognize it now, but it's still here. And it's
Yeah.
within all of us. But I think that was the toughest thing for me. It's just trust in that, you're going to be here with me forever. We're best friends. We're going to be best friends forever. I want to see your kids grow. I want my kids to see my kids and your kids to be best friends, like just things like that.
Yeah. And anger. I noticed when I was very fearful, I had a lot of anger because it was all repressed energy. So when people have rage, it's all that anger swallowed, and they didn't release it. So you get rageful because you have all of it in you. So it's so
Yeah.
important to release.
Yeah. Anger, and the way that we deal with it. One of the things that I do recognize, like I can definitely relate with the anger part. But I realize as I look back, I realize a lot of the times, like I got into fights or I got, into like any type of like altercation like that. It really wasn't a matter of me starting them. It was more of a matter of a person, pressing those buttons or hurting another person. Like there was always something behind it, but just the anger part, dealing with it, learning how to breathe, take a step back. We don't know these things as we're going through, and it's really hard to tell a person to
Yeah.
calm down when they feel disrespected or they feel, what I mean? They feel like someone is just walking on. It's hard. It really is. It's tough, and it's not for the weak. But it's just more about recognizing. It's great that you recognize that anger played a role.
Yeah. Speaking of anger, the funny thing is I was heading here to come on the show. There was this nutcase. First of all, this poor man was trying to park. So we're
Mhm.
waiting. And then this man, older man, was like, he looked like he wanted to smash into us. We're like, hey, the poor guy's trying to park. Then he saw me laughing. I go, calm down. It's okay. And then
Yeah,
he looked at me, he goes, I'm running late to eat. I was like, okay, relax.
yeah. You want to
He
make
was an
it there.
older man, very rageful.
Yeah, you want to make it there. A lot of, I used to deal with that too. I'm from Massachusetts, so there's a lot of, it's like New
Mhm.
York. There's a lot of like road rage, and there's a lot of, impatience, and
Yeah.
one time I was being very impatient and I was driving and I got into a car accident, and
Uh,
I was on my way to pick up my children, and I was grateful for the accident. My car flipped over like 3 times, but I got out and
wow.
there was not one scratch on me. Not one
Wow.
scratch on me when I got out of the vehicle. But I had saw my son's car seat on the highway, and then in that moment I realized, I'm like, you know what? It's time to stop. There's no more being impatient. There's no more being no more being rushing everywhere. And I just stopped now. Like when I see people and they act like that, I'm like, I hope you get to where you're going safely.
Exactly. They like
I,
going crazy.
Yeah, I let
I
you pass me. I don't care. You want to get in the lane? Go ahead, buddy. It's okay. That happened about, let's say, about 10 years ago that happened. But, it was one of those things that it really did change me, open up my eyes, that whole impatient part of my life.
I know. I'm going to take a very quick commercial break and I will be right back right after these messages. Stay tuned, everybody.
I'm sorry to bother you, but I have 30 seconds to give you a very important message. My name is Arthur Lee. I'm the CEO inventor of LifeVac, a simple choking rescue device that could save a life in a choking emergency. We've saved over 3,000 lives now, but we're not there. 5,000 people a year choke to death, one child every 5 days. Please consider protecting your family in a choking emergency with LifeVac. Go to lifevac.net today. Thank you for your time.
Hi, I am Linda DeVitis. I am a psychic, clairvoyant medium, and certified healer. I have also written a book, My Journey from Darkness to the Light, which is available on Amazon, Barnes & Nobles, and on my website, www.healingsonthego.com. If you would like to book an appointment with me, call me at 917-929-4935.
Thank you.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back with my very special guest, Kendall Bell. Welcome, welcome. A quick hello to Lorraine. She's saying hi, Kendall.
Hey, Lorraine. Blessings. Blessings.
So today we're talking about healing challenges and our traumas. The next is about physical, how it affects us. It affects us with fatigue, not wanting to get up from the bed, tension, headaches, digestive issues, and chronic illnesses. I know when I was going through a lot of depression and stress, I always wanted to lay down. It's just a form of depression when you never want to, you don't want to get up. How does it affect you, Kendall?
I don't want to get up. I stay in the dark. I don't pick up my phone. I shut down.
Yes.
Um, and it really does mess with you. It does. It shuts me down.
Yeah.
I'll go through periods. I go through periods where I just shut the world out.
Yeah.
Just lay there. Just lay there and just, try to soothe my soul. But that's not healthy. It can lead to bad health conditions, heart disease, and diabetes, and autoimmune
Yeah.
disorder. We got to move. We have to move around, and it can also make us vulnerable to having depression and anxiety and PTSD even more so than we may already have. So it's not really good for us to do it.
Yeah.
But
I get tension headaches,
tension headache.
and everything. If you read Louise Hay, she talks about all about the body, how all our thoughts and everything affects our mind. Digestive issues is unable to digest your thoughts. Tension headaches is, of course, the crown chakra being blocked. There's also fatigue, which is also, the crown chakra. So everything needs to be flushed out of us. That's why I do healing candles and Reiki and all that stuff, because we all need a nice flushing. And I love about it that it comes with a 2-page channeling and wax reading. So that's a good thing. But yeah, it affects all our thoughts, affect our body, or affects our body. And they always say if you have happy thoughts, your body will be happy. The cell listens to everything. If you talk to your hand, oh, I have a funny story to say. So one time I was laying in bed and my arm was hurting for like weeks. I was like, what's wrong with it? So one night something came over me and I rubbed my hand and I said, thank you for being there. That go, I'm so sorry you're not feeling good. I hope you feel better. And the next day it completely vanished. I swear. So
Okay,
it
into
was funny
existence.
because I sent love to it. I was like, I'm so sorry. And I was telling my friend, she's like, my belly hurts. And then I was like, do the same. Send love to your belly because everything in our body needs love energy. So, of course, when we're stressed out, it's going to affect somewhere, So it was funny.
Yeah, yeah, that's hilarious. Yeah, the way we speak to ourselves is very important. The
Yes.
vibration that it holds. They did a study on plants. They were doing a study just, people speaking to the plants and, speaking positive to a plant and it was growing and, speaking negative to a plant and it was dying. And it was like, wow, if you can do this with a
Yeah.
plant, imagine what you can do with a human. This is just a
Yes,
plant.
it's true. It's true.
It's really amazing and fascinating how the vibration and the tone and the intent of our words affects everything around us.
Yeah. Thank you. And she said that's cute. It's true, though. It's so funny because it's like, and another thing, one time I had this big headache that didn't want to go away. So I took a selenite stick, which is my favorite because it's the beamer of the light. And I stuck it on my head. I put tape over it. And then I forgot all about it. So then I went to the store and I told my husband, I don't know why these people keep staring at me. And then he's like, well, take that thing off your head. And I completely forgot about it. So yeah, it does help because the energy of the crystal was absorbing the headache. So little tricks like
That's
that help a lot. But
that's amazing.
spiritually, when there's traumas, we are disconnected, we feel lost or blocked. Basically, our energy, we start feeling floaty, dizzy. That's because our energy is not centered and we need to ground ourselves. Going to a tree, visualizing roots. I do that a lot, visualize roots from my feet and just, trying to bring our balance back. I always wear pyrite. Pyrite is very good for sealing the energy. So sometimes when we are severely overly depressed, we get energetic holes. And what that means is something can attach. So by wearing pyrite, I always wear it. It kind of keeps your bubble together and it keeps you healthy and stuff, which is good. Stones are really powerful too. Which one's your favorite, Kendall?
I would say my favorite. I love Tiger's Eye and amethyst. Amethyst is my favorite. Tiger's Eye,
Yes,
definitely.
I feel for
Um,
all
and
with
I,
you.
I also like Stellanite as well.
Yes, I love it.
Stellanite's one of
Awesome.
my favorite.
Yes. Lorraine knows they work wonders. I love the crystals and they all are very magical.
Yes.
I I like wear a ton of them and they're like, "You sleep with all those bracelets?" Yeah, I do. But it's funny. I know it's not about crystals, but the funny thing is, if like you're in a very sad mood and you don't cleanse them, it will bring back that energy because that's happened to me before. And I was like, but why do I still feel sad? And then it came through me. It's like, take out your crystals, clean them, and then wear them back again because our energy is still on it. So
Yes.
that's why when I do healings, I'm like, go change your clothes and then put new ones because we welcome the new energy.
Yes. And a lot of the times too, like if we keep them on for too long, they'll end up breaking on us.
Yes.
That's I realized that the hard way. I'm like, why do my bracelets keep breaking on me? And I'm like, oh, I gotta cleanse them. But yeah, when you hold too much and absorb too much of the negative energy, eventually it just breaks on you. You don't release it. You don't get it off of you.
Yeah, I had this lady tell me, she's like, I just bought one of the crystals. Within a week, it broke. I was like, well, it's because it picked up a lot of negative energy. It's protecting you from something
Mm-hmm.
or someone.
Sure. This is definitely
So,
true.
yeah, exactly. So, when you feel overwhelmed, where does it hit you the most
In my chest,
physically? Okay.
I get really bad anxiety.
Mhm.
Um, and it hits me in my chest, and then I get stiff in my neck,
Oh, yeah.
really bad stiff in my neck. So
Uh, mine is usually my stomach and my heart too. Yeah, I get
yeah.
very anxiety too. And when I feel very overwhelmed, again, I put my selenite inside my shirt and I feel like it absorbs all that negativity.
Hmm.
It like sucks it up, which is good. That's why I'm always surrounded by them. If I wore no crystals, I would feel naked.
Wow.
Yeah, I always wear them. So anyway, let's see. So what are some healing modalities that help you with your trauma?
Healing modalities. I would say, nature is big for me. Just getting out. I got to make sure that I'm moving around. Reading is very big for me as well. Just getting the information that I need in order for me to better equip myself with solutions. Finding the solution is probably the toughest part, but reading more about it and applying it to your life is, probably I'd say the best thing for me. Um, Meditation, it helps out a lot. I realize when I don't meditate, I'm off. I am off. I'm really stuck in this human world, and I'm not really balancing myself. But what else helps me? Um, just basically exercise. Exercise
Yeah.
helps me deal with it helps me deal with the abruptness of it. We're always going to be dealing with stuff, but once it gets extreme, we got to have that thing that automatically releases us. And that's exercise is one of the biggest things for me as well. What is it for
Yeah,
you?
to me, exercise and I do my candles, which helps a lot for me because
Yeah.
I'm so open to them. I pray, like, to me, they're my safe net. Like, if, for example, my mom wasn't doing so well, they gave her this medicine that they could have killed her. It was making her speech slur, and there wasn't a
Um,
strong. So I went and I did her three candles, and thank God, not to say, but her energy is golden, and she's like the way she was 10 years ago. Sure, she has a little bit, but her energy feels way better, and she's more alert. Like before, she looked like spaced out. I was like, "What's wrong with you?" So to me, that Candles are my safe net. If I feel scared, I know that it'll come through me. I read the wax and I feel like everything's going to be okay. I just feel like, with any kind of thing, I always run and light a candle and I pray. Praying would be the number one thing for me. I always
Yeah.
pray that everything will be okay. Yeah. And also, I wanted to say, acknowledge that the healing is necessary. Allow yourself to feel the emotions without judging them, because when something's coming up for you, it's just telling you where you need healing. So sometimes people are like, oh no, I have to snap out of it right away. But you really don't have to. You have to process it. We're not always going to be happy, but we're going to learn from what's bothering us. And like a puzzle, just try to see how you can heal from it. Go deep into the root problem. Because when you
Yeah.
don't go to the root problem, it's just like putting a band aid over it and thinking that'll go away. But it's not. It's going to come back again till you try to resolve it. Yeah. And to me, releasing and letting go, like I do different kinds of stuff. Also, I do breathing exercises. I focus a lot with colors. When I do candles, I focus a lot on, the energy. Like if I feel fear, I'll focus on being in pink light. I love colors and sound therapy. I love sound therapy. That's why I love bells. I always ring bells around me. It also breaks
Yeah.
negative energy.
Yeah.
So I love wind chimes. I just like peace and quiet. My mom's like, I go in your house. Do you watch TV ever? No, I don't.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
didn't even know how to turn on the TV.
Well, the vibrational frequency of the TVs they're actually harmful for us.
See?
We don't
Yeah.
realize it. Watching too much of it, it literally poisons our bodies. That's why you'll see like a lot of like, especially with a lot of older people who watch the news all the time,
Yeah.
and you have the negativity in the news plus the frequency of the TV. Not even just old people; it affects old people the worst. That's why they're so fearful of everything because of
Wow.
the vibration of the TV, and they're not getting the right frequency. So that's spot on. Your frequencies and bell frequency. I don't know what that exact frequency is, but
You're lagging a little bit, Kendall. I hope it fixes up. You froze.
there you go.
Froze. You're frozen. Um, but I'm going to go on till you get fixed. Okay, I think you're good now. I saw you move. But basically, yeah, you're frozen right now. But I'll go on till it adjusts for you. Finding different methods to release old wounds, whether it could be energy healing, journaling, spiritual practices, Reiki, because we all get blockages in our body. Sometimes you need a healing, Reiki healing, candle healing. And candle healing is just sending the energy over you. And it does work tremendously from my experience. You could read my reviews on Google Maps. Kendall, you're back? No, you're frozen. Oh, geez. I hope you come back, Kendall. We're going to take a real quick commercial break and see if it fixes. We'll be right back right after these messages. Stay tuned, everybody.
I'm sorry to bother you, but I have 30 seconds to give you a very important message. My name is Arthur Lee. I'm the CEO and inventor of LifeVac, a simple choking rescue device that could save a life in a choking emergency. We've saved over 3,000 lives now, but we're not there. 5,000 people a year choke to death, one child every 5 days. Please consider protecting your family in a choking emergency with LifeVac. Go to lifevac.net today. Thank you for your time.
Hi, I am Linda DeVitis. I am a psychic, clairvoyant medium and certified healer. I have also written a book, My Journey from Darkness to the Light, which is available on Amazon, Barnes & Nobles, and on my website, www.healingsonthego.com. If you would like to book an appointment with me, call me at 917-929-4935. Thank you. Hello, everybody. Oh, great. Now I'm messed up. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back with my special guest, Kendall Bell. You're fixed now. I'm not. Let's
Yeah,
switch.
I don't know what happened. I just started going haywire, and I didn't know if you could hear me or not, but I couldn't hear anything.
I got to switch my camera real quick. It's acting crazy now. Let's see if I put it back. So continue on.
So
What were you telling us? Yeah.
you were talking about frequencies, and you
Yes.
know, I had done a lot of studying on that, and they literally repair our DNA, which is kind of crazy
Oops. Yeah.
if you really
Right.
think about it.
Yeah, it is crazy. And it does. It works tremendously.
Yeah, it does. It sets you in a mood. And then I did a lot of reading on how the frequency from our radios is and the music is tuned to destroy our bodies and our minds. Which it is, it's like there's so many different psyops going on around us. Not to be, conspiracy wacko. These are just facts.
But it's
There's
true.
so
Yeah.
many psyops going on around us that we don't even see. We don't realize it's in our music. It's in the TV. It's, when we walk outside, just, all the wireless internet that we got going on everywhere. Like all of this stuff affects our bodies. And it definitely triggers into our trauma, and it makes us more anxious, and it makes us more impulsive, and
That's
it's just like these silent killers that we're not aware of. So these vibrations, these frequencies, they help stabilize the body. They help cleanse our DNA from all of the damage that we take throughout our days.
exactly. It's true. So if someone asked you, what is inner child work? What would you tell them?
Inner child work to me is going back. Inner child work is going back and going back to when you were a child, and reliving those moments that weren't so pleasant, that shaped your
Right.
mindset, that made you afraid of relationships, afraid to get close to people, that made you angry, that made you, just volatile, or made you depressed, or, make you think that the world's a negative place. You got to get back to that, because it all starts, a lot of it starts when we're younger. Some things will happen to us when we're older that'll shape us, but a lot of the times people are fearful, or people are reactive, or people are destructive because of what happened in their childhood. And but we can never be too sheltered, because sometimes being too sheltered is going to hurt us as well. But so inner child work to me is going back and recognizing and realizing that these things happened in order for us to learn through them. They didn't happen to us, they happened for us to take and
Exactly.
turn it into something that is going to help us grow, learn, and teach, because that's why we're here to grow, learn, and teach, whether it's to our kids or the person that the universe sends to us. We're only sent these people when we learn the lesson. If we don't learn the lesson, then we get sent the lesson over and over and over again. So
That's true. Like a cycle. I
yes,
can put
exactly. It's just the way it is. Like if you don't master the lesson, master thyself, then the universe is going to keep on sending you that version of yourself.
right.
Once you pass that test, and you get upgraded, now you're the master itself, and now you're the teacher, and the new student comes to you. But the student is also you, so you're basically talking to outdated version, or past version of yourself when that person's sent to you. Kind of crazy, like the circle of life and how it works. That's just
Yeah.
the way I see it. When I talk to people, that's why I don't talk down and give advice to people. I don't ever talk down to them. I'm talking to them because I am them. I
That's
can
right.
I
You
can
said
only
it
give
right now.
I am you. You just don't realize it, and that's why we're attracted to each other, because we are the same. We wouldn't be speaking to each other if that wasn't true.
That's right. High five to that too.
It's very hard to connect with, others on that same level. And yeah, again, I
That's
was
true.
one of those people that was not on that level, but it's a pleasant feeling when you get someone who's open-minded enough to at least, accept the fact that, you're bringing this information to them, and you're excited about their existence, and that you're a part of them and they're a part of you, and they just soak it in, and like that's a beautiful feeling, because it's your tribe. It's going to be worth the while, whether the relationship ends or whatever it is. That it's worthwhile.
Exactly. And shadow working is the parts of you that you may have suppressed. This lady told me, what is that? That's it, the shadow of yourself working through it.
Hmm. Shadow work
And
is it's some very touchy stuff, and shadow work is probably like one of the greatest and deepest but toughest forms of healing that we can do, because you literally have to face yourself. Like, you have to
oh,
face your ego. You cannot sit back and sugarcoat anything. You can't make any more excuses to be a bad person, or let your whatever it is that happened to you be the reason why you're doing the things that you're doing. You really got to get deep into it and realize, why do you want to be this person, and understand, again, it happened for you, not to you, and transforming it.
that's
But
right.
shadow work is just getting deep, because a lot of the times our shadows are our greatest. Our shadows, our darkness is our greatest form of light. It's just hard to see that, through the shell. Crack that
That's
shell
true.
open, and that's when the light gets through.
That's true. And then people sometimes they talk about their parents, oh, it's their fault, it's their fault. But we're all learning. It's all lessons. And things
But,
happen for a reason. Our sole
but we're the
purpose.
upgrade. We're the upgrades of our parents. So, they got to give us the beta version, them, and then we have to go in and we have to work out all the kinks. It's just like a computer program, or your app on your phone. Without upgrades, your app's gonna crash. So our parents are the beta version. They're part of they're the app, but we're the upgrades. We got to keep on tweaking things and releasing them.
Yep, and life is not easy here on earth, but we
Yeah.
are spiritual, especially you, spiritual warriors. And I went through my own drama with so much negativity. Like I don't remember a day when I was younger where my heart was beating normal. I was always scared, nervous. My face, they used to think I have a tan. Meanwhile, it was from being flushed, being so
Mhm.
scared,
Yeah.
so it was really hard. But
Yeah.
what can you do? It shaped. So when I look back, I think, okay, all that happened. So now I get into healing to help others. And that's just the reward of it all.
Hmm.
Learning from it. And it took a long time, working through it like you did. Healing yourself takes time, but you can do it little by little.
That's it. And again, it happens to the best of us. We're always gonna have to be healing. I feel like healing is a never ending cycle. Anybody that's telling you that they're fully 1,000% healed and happy
Oh,
all the time, every day, they're hiding and they're lying to themselves. They're not telling you
exactly.
the
It's
truth.
impossible.
I just why I don't do the whole guru thing. I don't do any of that stuff. And the gurus that I do follow are the ones that are telling me about their shadows. That are talking to me. Like, again, I have to learn through experience. I followed a
Yeah.
lot of different people, and I realized that the ones that share their darkness and their light, those are the ones that you wanna follow. Those are the ones that are being real with you. Get caught up in this whole love and light theory where everything's supposed to be love and everything's supposed to be light. It's not true. We need balance. We need the
It's
darkness.
true. They act like they're always happy, and I'm like, yeah, right. Because we
Yeah,
all face challenges, even being a healer and this and that. You always will pick up stuff. You can't always be happy because you're picking up energy.
very well.
It's
Yeah,
not that easy to be like. And I tell people, don't be hard on yourselves because we're only human. We can't always be happy, but try to not weigh you down because then eventually you won't feel good. But we
hmm.
all go through our emotions, especially now the lunar eclipse brought a lot of loony energy. So we're just going through it day by day, and we try to see the positive aspects. But again, life is a roller coaster, so it's not always going to be steady.
It's true. And one of the things that, like, I'm learning, the most about myself and my journey is, surrounding myself with people that are not. I don't want you to be perfect, but I need people around me that realize that, they're not perfect, and, they're willing to grow and willing to, check their egos, and, not think that they know everything, and just, be able to, because me, when I had that know-it-all energy, when I had that know-it-all mindset, I wasn't able to accept new information because I knew it all. So
Right.
now, like, that version of me, like, I can't be around because it just brings me back to that person that I used to be. And then I find myself adapting to that again, just thinking and feeling myself in friction matters with people that, I love and I care about, but not realizing that, this energy is not for me anymore. I gotta step over here. I gotta stay over here, and I gotta be around these people who talk about ideas and not people who want to elevate me, elevate themselves. I can't be around people who, all their mindset is focused on is problems. Got to be the solutions, because if that's what their mindset's all about, then that's what your mindset's going to be about. That's what my mindset's going to be about, and we adapt to everything. So if we're like, say, like you're in a relationship, right, and your relationship's having problems, right, and the number one or two or three people around you are not in relationships, and all their relationships have problems, and you're talking to them about your relationship problems, what do you think you're gonna get? You're
Same
gonna
thing.
get more. You're gonna get more problems. They're gonna
Exactly.
tell you, leave him, leave her. Da 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 da. Da. You ain't nothing. They're based off of their own level of experience, instead of like, speaking to an older person who's been married for 30, 40 years, who've gone through so much, and you want to get that advice from that person. You know what I mean? You want to
That's
talk to
true.
that person that's gonna be able to speak love and speak peace and speak compromise into you and speak problem solving into you. Opposed to people who don't know how to solve any problems, and all they want to do is have the problem revolve. That's why it's very important for me. Again, it's important for us to just be mindful of who we surround ourselves with, because we literally become them.
It's true. And healing is a journey. It's not a quick fix. So be patient, self compassion, and know that little by little, surround yourself with positive, supportive people and protect your energy. Because it's true. So, like, people will invite me to their house, but if someone's going to come and criticize what I do and this and that, why am I going to waste my day
Yeah.
visiting you? You know what I mean? Certain family
Hmm.
members. Not my side anyway. So it's like, why are you gonna I tell my husband, why am I gonna go surround myself with someone that's gonna put me down and make me feel miserable? Don't you think I have better things to do?
Yeah, we all do, and that's unfortunate. It just comes to realize. I come to realize that everybody got something to say about you. No
Yeah,
matter what it is
that's
that
good.
you're doing good, you're doing bad, doesn't matter. They're always gonna have something to say about you. But that it's hard to accept that it's because of their own level of experience inside and their own inadequacies within themselves, and it's tough to overcome, because again, like, our image, who we are, what people think about us is important to a lot of us. But if a person doesn't consider themselves important, then why would you care about their level of what they think of you? Is it
Exactly. Who
doesn't
cares?
really matter, because
Exactly.
people that care about you, they're not going to turn on you. They're going to speak power into you. They're going to have your back when your back's turned. I don't care about who you are to my face. You should never care about who a person is to your face. You got to care about who they are to your back when your
That's
back's
right.
turned. You know
That's
what I
right.
mean? Because we all wear masks. It's
That's
tough to
true.
decipher through that, and it can be your mother, your father, your best friend, your aunt, your boyfriend, your girlfriend. But what's important to me is how do you protect me? How do you protect my energy? How do you protect my name? Do you let others destroy my name? Because that energy alone can affect me. If you let people into your inner circle that are supposed to protect you, and they're around people that are destroying your name and that vibration and not shutting it down, that affects your body. That affects your being. So it's
Exactly.
very important. Clean your circle. Make sure your circle is speaking life into you.
Exactly. And see challenges as lessons and opportunities for growth. Because that's what they really are. They're all lessons.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just bringing you somewhere, and they're just trying to get your attention. And if you don't listen, they'll come right back and teach you some more.
Yes. Yes, we fall into this pit, and that pit is hard to get out of, especially when we realize that, like, we're either the reason we're gonna sink in it or the reason we're gonna get out of it. It's all about ourselves.
Exactly. Everyone has the ability to heal and transform their lives. It's never too late to start your own healing journey. And all you got to do is try to be motivated and see things from a different lens, different perspective, and know that things, okay, might have not been pleasant, but they were bringing you somewhere, and they're going to bring you somewhere good. So never give up hope, because some people, unfortunately, take their lives and think that nothing's ever going to get better. When I give free readings, I go on sometimes 1 hour on TikTok every day, one free card reading for everybody. And do you know how sad it makes me hear, like, when they ask me, is everything going to be okay? Is my life, I go, am I ever going to heal? So I say, of course you are. You just got to put your mind to it that, you will heal. and know that the ball, when it bounces, it doesn't stay down, it goes right back up. So you're going to bounce back up. All you have to do is have a will, and
Mhm.
change how you're seeing something. That's all
Mhm.
it is. Do you go
Yeah,
on TikTok, Kendall?
I go on there sometimes. I really haven't been on social media a lot the past few months. I actually got to go on there. I just had my birthday, and I have to go back
Happy
on there because
birthday,
I know a lot
Kendall.
of people sent me
Yay.
happy birthday, so I got to
Yes.
get on there and say some thank yous. But I haven't really been on social media. I've been off of it for a little while, just trying to
Taking
take
a
a little
break.
break. But
Take a break.
yeah, yes, it's Pisces season right now. It's almost over, but
Uh,
Pisces season, I'm feeling it. One of the things that I wanted to touch base on too, was the power of communication and speaking
mhm.
and talking. I'm at a point in my life right now where it's important for me to talk. It's important for me to be able to, especially with people that I care about. It's important for me to be able to relay a message to you, talk to you, work through things, come to you with things, and have a solution. It's not healthy if you're always the person with the solution. Not healthy if you're always the one that's lifting people up and saving everybody. It's not healthy. Like, even the saver needs to be saved, and it's very important for us
That's
to
true.
be around the people that are going to be able to speak the same life into us that we speak into them. It's very important. It can't be a one-way thing, because guess what? If it's a one-way thing, guess what happens when you're down? When you're down, who's going to help lift you up? You gotta lift yourself up. If you're the person if you're the savior of your group, you're the one that everybody comes to all the
Yes.
time. When
Yeah.
you're down, you're gonna have to be the same person for yourself. Nobody else is gonna be around to help you, because they're not equipped to. Because you're basically, I don't want to say that you're crippling them, but yes, you're crippling yourself.
Pretty
You
much,
know,
right?
you're crippling yourself, and it's good to, and a lot of the times, us as healers are people that that help other people. A lot of the times, like, we don't want to take advice from others, but like, that's not healthy. Not healthy at all. We gotta be able to accept and give. There needs to be a balance there, because again, once you fall, you're gonna be the only one there in that pit with you. It's good to have
That's
some help sometimes and accept help. Even the helpers need help. So,
that's true. That's true. Yeah. I am the savior of the group.
and so you know exactly what I'm talking about. You know exactly what it
Exactly.
is that I'm saying. Like, and then when you look around and you're going through everything and life's falling in on your shoulders, it's like, who do you turn to? Who do you talk to? Speak to. You gotta speak to yourself. You got to speak to your angels. We're left talking to angels and spirits and God. You know,
That's right. That
and
is
then
true. That's what
and
I
then
do.
everybody else gets the luxury of coming and seeing it in human form. But it's like, don't do ourselves a disservice with that anymore. I realized that through my own experiences. I was always there for everybody. And then when I turned around and looked around, I realized I was by myself a lot of the times. And again, it's nothing to take away from any other people. It's on me because of what I chose to be, but just have some balance and have at least one person or two people that, that speaks the same life and speaks the same love into you as you do to them, because you're going to need it. When you lose your way, that's when the universe is going to send that person right there. There's right sitting right there waiting for you to give it right back to you.
Yeah. That's true. That's very true. Finding methods that help release old wounds, such as you can do it through therapy, energy healing, like I do. I do the candles, which help me, 2-page channeling, wax reading. Today I was so happy because my view, Google Maps, the 5-star reviews are going up. Now they're 57. So it makes me happy knowing that I help people. And,
Yes.
these are successful. Thank God. Yeah. Oh, Lorraine is writing. I've been to relationship where there was no communication and I felt so alone.
Yes, and that's tough. It's tough to feel alone. It really is. And that's one of the things that, we battle with and we don't speak about, and we hold it in. And then if we do release it, a lot of the times, because we hold it in, we release it in a negative manner and we make things worse. So
Right.
I pray that that's something that you're working on, Lorraine, and it's something that you recognize, but don't ever suppress it. And I realize now more than ever, if we're speaking to people that turn everything that you're speaking to them about into an argument, then it's the wrong people to be around. because the people that love you are going to listen to you, and they're going to, give you space to grow and give you space to vent. And without that, you can't grow, especially in a relationship.
Exactly. Yeah. Anne said, I've learned that is so true. Yes, it's true. It's very true. Reprogramming the mind, shifting limited beliefs with affirmations, visualization, and self love. There's also other ways to do it, but basically, it's all about how you see things and changing your perception. For me, that's what helps.
Yes.
So, yeah, we only have like 3 more minutes. I wanted to tell everyone that my show is going on a little break for now. Hopefully, we'll be back, but yeah, unfortunately, it's going to be a little bit of a break. So we'll see. Maybe if it's meant in 2 months, maybe I'll be back. But God only knows. Right now, we're taking a little break.
We'll be back. We'll be back stronger than ever. Good for a little hiatus, a little soul searching, a little refocusing the
Yeah.
agenda. There's nothing wrong with that at all. So,
Yes.
everything happens for its reasons. Just gotta make sure you come back times 1,000. So,
Well, if I come back, I'm gonna need a co-host. Hint, hint.
okay, I'll be ready for you. Let's do that.
so, so basically, we only have 2 minutes left, but everybody just hang in there. Life can be challenging, but we're all here to motivate each other and surround yourself with people that will, help you. You could feel free to message me. We all go through our shifts, but we're all here for each other. And if you need any guidance, where could they reach you, Kendall?
You can reach me on Facebook under Kendall Bell. You can reach me on Facebook, Rare Breed Universe, rarebreeduniverse.com. I'm on Instagram, and I do have a TikTok account. Not really on there, but I will start to go on there if that's where you find me. But yeah, that's where you can find me.
Okay, everyone. And you can find me at Linda DeVitas. TikTok, I believe, is, the same, Linda DeVitas, or Healings on the Go. I go on the Healings on the Go. Instagram, Facebook. Mostly I've been on TikTok because, like I said, every day I try to be on for a little while because I see so many people need like some encouragement, and it motivates me just to go on, pick a card for them and try to, even if it's something that needs to be changed, some guidance comes through me and I just pick and choose who I feel drawn to.
Yeah, I feel
Well,
that the algorithm on TikTok is it's a lot better than a lot of the platforms
yeah.
as well. So you'll be able to reach more of the people that are aligned with your niche and your message. TikTok,
Next.
that's a good idea. Stay doing that. Stay
Yeah.
doing that.
Thank you so much, Kendall, for being on. It's always a pleasure to have you.
Thank you for always having me. It's always a pleasure to come on here and connect with you and the tribe.
Thank you.
I look forward to coming back with you, and let's just take this time off and become greater. That's why I
Yes.
wish you all the success in this world.
Thank you, Kendall. You too. You're an angel. God bless you. You've
Thank
been
you.
through so much and you always smile. God bless your soul. You're a strong tiger. You really are. All
I
right,
appreciate you.
everyone.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a great night, anyone. Everyone stay safe and hang in there. Better days to come.
Peace and love.
Peace and love. Bye bye.